Unity of Houston is an inclusive church where we seek to understand and live the teachings of Jesus and other spiritual masters. At Unity, we welcome all people from all spiritual paths and every walk of life. We celebrate the diversity of our city and of our world, and we teach love, tolerance, and oneness, seeking to live in harmony with open minds and open hearts.
Wherever you are in your spiritual path, you are always welcome at Unity. Join us and discover that the life of your dreams is already within you.
All right, I'm switching over to this mic now. I can be with you in this way as I share the message tonight. So, it seems that you all have leaned into not only just being in the pyramid, but coming out, knowing that there were severe thunderstorm warnings, right? Some flood warnings in some places. It seemed treacherous. And then look, there's sun. There's sun. So as some evidence of don't know mind, right? We just don't really know what is going to happen. We can forecast it. We can predict it. We can prepare for it. We can try to armor up for it and all those things, right? And have you ever tried to hold back a thunderstorm? Ever tried to? Like, could you even think of how would we do it? How would we do it? Would we put like a tarp over the earth? Or would we get like one of those, you know, those Dyson hand dryers where you put your hands in and you pull them out? And we could get like a huge one and just try to let the thunderstorm go in and just dry it really quickly, right? We could affirm, I am dry and I am not touched by rain. Maybe that will hold back the thunderstorm? That sounds all crazy, right? It's crazy. But how often do we think, I can stop the problems in my life. I can control this. I'll eat organic. I'll do more yoga. I will listen to affirmations constantly. I'll do a lot of meditation. Fill in the blank, whatever your thing is, and everything will settle out, right? If I just do more of that, or somehow we think we can control life. Right? And then sometimes our worst fears happen. Has anybody had their worst fear happen? No, just me. Something came up and you're like, what? Not that. Can happen. Relationships break up, diagnosis, job ends. That's just me, huh? No, to you guys over here. No, I know everybody here has gone through something that has been a challenge that was unexpected and wouldn't be what you choose, right? And you go, then what? Then what from that? Well, you could ignore it. You could pretend it's not happening, right? We can do that. We can resist it. In some ways, we numb out. We numb out with addictions, right? You could dive in and then make it all about you, and now it's your new identity. You're the rejected one. You're the martyr, the loser, sufferer, whatever it is, and just go that way. Well, there's another way, right? Those are extremes. There's another way to respond to life. It's a path that's not denial or affirmation. It shows that there's a paradox in the universe, within and between all opposites, right? That when things just don't make sense. This is a Buddhist philosophy or psychology. It's called the wisdom of the middle way, that there is a middle way. And often we say in Unity to be in the world but not of it, right? We're human and divine. Reverend Michael gave a wonderful illustration on Sunday in his talk of that you've got to have one foot in the spiritual and one foot in the human, and that's how we walk. Spiritual, human, spiritual, human. It's a balance, and there's a middle way there. In the monastery where Jack Kornfield studied, as we're concluding now this wonderful series. I hope you've enjoyed this series on the Wise Heart. I love the teachings of Jack Kornfield. He's such a great master teacher that we have alive on the planet that's still teaching, and he brings so much great wisdom and love to sharing these spiritual truths. He said that in the monastery he studied in, that the 100 monks would chant at twilight every night this: there is a middle way between the extremes of indulgence and self-denial, free from sorrow and suffering. This is the way to peace and liberation in life. So how often have you sought happiness through indulging? Well, our society encourages us to indulge, to eat your troubles away, or gamble your troubles away, or whatever it is. Get out of your situation. Netflix and chill your troubles away, whatever it is, right? Now, we do that, and it may feel good in the moment, but it's not free. We're not being free when that's how we're seeking happiness solely. If we seek happiness through fighting ourselves and rejecting the world, we're not free either, right? So freedom is found in the middle way, not through overindulging in the whole human thing, or isolating ourselves and trying to separate or to be monastic. It's not the middle way that where you're in the world but not of it. So instead of seeking resolution to have peace, because that is often how our minds work, like, well, once this is fixed, then there'll be peace. Once I am healed, or once this relationship is healed, or we're back together, or right? There's something, fill in the blank. Once that happens, there's resolution. We can do kind of like what the song was saying, lean into it. We can relax in the middle of all that may seem like chaos or disorder or dis-ease in our lives, and let ourselves open. We lean into it. When you rest in this middle way, you find well-being wherever you are. It's your practice. It's your way of life. And Jack Kornfield approaches this with his students in this way. He offers this meditation where you imagine that you are sitting, you basically are a clear forest pool. You just become this clear forest pool, and one by one, all of your inner animals come to drink from the pool. So just imagine what those inner animals might be. Fear, grief, maybe some gratitude, anxiety, sorrow, joy, all those things can come and drink from this pool and visit, and you just sit in the middle of the messiness of your life, just like a king or queen on the throne, like you're sitting in your spiritual power and your strength, right? You're sitting there as all these things happen. You allow birth and life, joy, sorrow, all around you without trying to fix it. And the idea is just sitting with that messiness of life without trying to fix it. Just being with it, leaning into it, letting go, surrendering and trusting, and seeing if that's a different energy from whatever else you've been doing as your response to life. Are any of you familiar with the Enneagram? Ever heard of the Enneagram? It's a personality type test, and it's spiritually based. It has 9 personality types, and they're all meant to show different aspects of the divine and how they show up in all of us. They're all 9 Enneagram types, like all over the world. People are all these 9 types, but you're one, and then you can have a wing. So you'd have a type, and you could have a wing, which is like an auxiliary kind of expression that you have. The type that I have is a type 1, and it has a few different names. It's the reformer, the idealist, or the perfectionist. And the benefit of this type is that people who are Enneagram 1s, we see things that could change, and we can bring a benefit of, shed some light on things that can be improved. The way that we suffer as an Enneagram 1 is that there's always something to be fixed and changed and improved, because life is not perfect in that way, right? So the world is imperfect, but then what is perfection? That's an idea. right? An idea that we hold, oh, perfect is this. But what if perfect was what is? So maybe perfection is not what we think. In Unity, we teach that we use manifestation tools and Unity principles to create a life that we love. I'm getting ready to start a class on Prosperity Plus, Mary Morrissey's wonderful teachings, where she is able to support us in discovering our vision for our lives in 4 different areas: in our health, in our vocation, our career, our time and money freedom, and our health, career, relationships. And so we create a vision, but the thing is that there's not just like a smooth road, and then we do this, we do these affirmations, we take these steps, and the vision is in our life. There's going to be bumps along the way, right? Because you're dealing with your own consciousness was living a certain way, and now you're creating like a new way. So we want to be present to that when we're using spiritual principles to support our lives and make changes, that we don't want to use them to beat up on ourselves, like, oh, my vision's not here, so I'm failing, right? That's what the perfectionist does. I'm failing, I'm not getting it. So we have a roadmap, we have an idea, but it's like going out 10 years from now, like we did in our meditation. Go out 10 years, and we just really don't know. We can have a vision, we can have a plan, but there may be bumps along the way. There may be things that show up that we didn't plan for. And this is the great mystery of life, isn't it? It kind of keeps us engaged, doesn't it? Keeps us guessing what's going to happen, because we don't know really what life is fully about. We think we know. We think we know why we're here and what we're here to learn, and then other things happen, right? And I believe that we're here to grow our soul, and we tend to do most of our growing through challenges. I don't know if you noticed that. I noticed that in myself. I grow more through challenges, and we can see challenges as an opportunity. Here's an opportunity for me to love myself, to surrender, to trust, to accept more love in my life, accept the support that's present. I have things in my life, just to use the example of me, because I'm the one who I know the best, that I wouldn't have chosen that both of my parents would have dementia in their elderly years. It's challenging. That's not what I want for them. I wouldn't have chosen that my daughter is having difficulty in school, and she may have some attention issues that need to work on. I wouldn't have chosen the health diagnosis that I'm facing, and then another surgery that I have coming up. And what I notice is that in each of those areas, there's a lot of support that I'm receiving. And a lot of that has to do with my connections here at Unity. It's an amazing community for that. And just invite you to, if you're not kind of plugged in here at Unity, that this is such a supportive place, and we want to help you to make those connections and find the place where you know friends here and are receiving the prayers and the love that we have for you here. And my parents are getting great care. My daughter is getting a lot of support and moving forward and getting the help that she needs. I have some great medical care and mental, spiritual, physical support that is helping me through these challenges. We all have that when we open up to it. That's the guarantee, as we're children of God. It's your divine inheritance that you're not alone in this life, right? One of the really cool illustrations that Jack Kornfield gives about living with this uncertainty of life is one that his teacher, Ajahn Chah, gave when he would hold up this beautiful Chinese teacup, and he said this: "To me, this cup is already broken." It wasn't broken, but he said, to him, it's already broken. Because I know it's fate, I can fully enjoy it here and now. And when it's gone, it's gone. Think about that. I think that's an interesting way to perceive things, perceive life. That when we become comfortable with the uncertainty, that we just have an ease around it, that life is unpredictable, things can happen, we become more free when we accept that awareness. And we have this illusion of control, right? Because we can choose certain things, we can buy things and put things in place and save money and that kind of stuff. The Broken Cup helps us to see beyond that. And Jack Kornfield said, this is a fierce teaching. So this is at the end of the book. This is very like a powerful, advanced teaching that he's offering us here. He said, when you're doing something that's a big work in your life, like you're fighting an injustice in your life, you're raising a child, that's a huge responsibility. You're building a business or creating some kind of work of art, there will be some failure as well as some success. That's part of the journey. And that's how the rock gets that intense pressure, so then inside it becomes a diamond. That's that pressure that allows us to grow and to shine. So we may have problems in our work life, or our children may have issues that are beyond our control, or unexpected health or financial issues. And if we focus only on the results that we're seeing in our life now, we can allow ourselves to become devastated. And perhaps we need to just feel through that, move through that feeling, right? Have support in that. I'm grateful to have some support in being able to feel those feelings that are uncomfortable. Helen Keller, the amazing Helen Keller, what a life that she's lived. She said this: security is mostly a superstition. It does not exist in nature, nor do children as a whole experience it. Avoiding danger is not safer in the long run than outright exposure. Life is either a daring adventure or nothing. I don't think we want our lives to be nothing. I think we've got daring adventurers here, right? Live streamers, you're daring adventurers as well? Yeah, we're daring adventurers who come out on a night that says severe thunderstorms to be out in the beautiful pyramid. You're at Unity for this experience. Jack Kornfield says we're not only a witness to this mystery of life, we are the mystery looking at itself. We are the mystery of life looking at itself. Wow, isn't that awesome? Awesome. So when we release our opinions that keep us in separation, that keep us divided, right? That keeps us in opposition, us against them, and we open to the mystery of the wholeness, the allness, the completeness, the perfection, we can experience what Zen Buddhism calls the beginner's mind. The beginner's mind. I love when you see this in children. My daughter has been saying at night, she's like, we have to go out and look at the moon and the stars. We have to. Like, okay, why do we need to do this? And she's like, it's just so beautiful, and it's there, and why not? Why wouldn't we just go experience it? Just to do it, right? Just because it's there, because it's the moon, the stars, the infinite experience of life. Love that feeling that opens us up. Kornfield wants his students to have their minds quiet and their eyes open. And this is so cool what he says is his philosophy when he works with his students. He says, I want us to be together as if we're lying in a field on the underside of the earth on a clear summer night, held only by the magnet of gravity, looking down at a bottomless sea of stars. Bottomless sea of stars. Looking out, being held by the earth. So we can trust life. We can find this middle way. It is available to all of us to relax into the mystery of life, of let's just see how this one turns out. It could be amazing. It could be amazing. You'll discover that you're going with the flow of your life. You're not pushing against the tide or trying to push the river. You're going with the flow, no matter how winding the path may be. And in this, my friends, you will discover how to live with a wise heart. Namaste.
What a great way to wrap up this book. I've so enjoyed the wise heart and deep teachings that are really applied to life, that are really practical for living. And honestly, I don't know how people do life without a spiritual community, because so much is going on in the worlds and in families and, you know, internal turmoil and everything. And just to be grounded and have a place for these teachings, to me, is so helpful in life. So I don't know how people do it without that. But
yeah.
And your talk reminded me of a story of somebody who goes to a mountaintop monastery and they're meditating for 25 years and they finally feel like they've achieved enlightenment. So the guy goes down into the busy, crowded marketplace and he gets jostled and people are bumping into him, and then pretty soon he's angry and frustrated and he loses all sense of enlightenment. It's that middle way. We need that. We know we need to be able to do both, because it's easy to be very spiritual when everything's calm and you're not bothered by anybody, anyone, anything. But we're going to mix it up in life, right? We're going to have relationships, and those are opportunities for growth and learning. So yeah, that middle way, to be able to do both, to be spiritual and go to the crowded marketplace and still stay centered and stay grounded.
Yeah, thank you, Shirley. We can carry that with us, right, into those experiences. We have to have the balance, the support. I've been considering, as far as like having these challenges in life, that when we go out in the marketplace, right, that it can feel like it's so exposed, right, when you're out there, especially if something's going on, and I think that's for some of us, and maybe a lot of us, that there's that inclination to want to like hide away those parts that we're ashamed of. We don't want people to know about what's going on there. And I feel that myself, like when just some things that are going on in my life, and I have this very public thing that I do, that we do, that we get to do, which is really awesome, and get to be ministers, and you think, well, I want my life to be of service, and even that is going to be of service in some way. And so I think about how I can incorporate it all, rather than saying, okay, well, I just want you to see the perfect me, and then all that other stuff is back here at home or hidden, right? And it's like, well, we're gonna love all of you just the way you are. Like, that's who we are in Unity. We want to encourage, we are encouraging everybody to show up authentically, including me, right? Including myself. Like, oh, I want to show up authentically and also be in my practice. Like I said, like, what did I get from the mountaintop? Am I just going to be this other, like, this spiritual person, and then this kind of mess over here? It's like there's a middle way where there's you incorporate that and you walk forward. So. I mean, I mainly tell these talks for myself, so thank you for being a part of that. Because I always feel that these messages are like right on time with our book studies that we've been doing. Then we've got something not totally different, it all kind of segues together, but next week we're starting the new series on This Life is Yours, and that is... Shirley, I know you've studied with Linda Martella-Whitsitt, and we had the opportunity to have her here in February for our SEE week, where she taught a couple classes and she spoke, and she did a workshop on this book, but it was just a couple hours, and we wanted to go deeper and expand it.
Yeah. And that's what we do here in Unity too, is embrace the whole human condition, because like you said, life happens no matter how spiritual, how lofty, how elevated we feel like we are. Things are going to come up. They just do. And so we just are equipped. We practice our resources and we take responsibility. That's really, I mean, Unity is kind of an advanced path, I think, because in other paths you can rely on something to save you, but here we're more about, we're going to save ourselves through our divine connection and through, you know, honoring Jesus and Buddha and, you know, other all wise spiritual teachers, but it is a path of taking responsibility for when we go down into the crowded marketplace and get jostled and get angry and frustrated, that, you know, what's going on inside me? Where are my triggers? What are my fears? What are my worries? And then bringing all of it into the opportunity for wisdom, the opportunity to use that to learn, progress, grow, teach others.
Definitely, yeah. There's always something that we can do, and we can get really caught up in that theological question, like, why did God do this? As if God did that. No, it wasn't God. So it's the experience. Well, you know, how did that happen? Well, perhaps you can figure that out, or maybe it's not important to know the how, depending on what it is, and just coming into that acceptance. Well, however it happened, it is what it is, and the God power within me is going to help me through it, and others who see the light when I need support, or I do the same for them. Right? That's what we're doing together.
And we have that choice. I love that image of lying on the ground, looking at the wondrous sky with all the stars, and we always have that choice, no matter what's going on, to find that quiet, still place inside where we can approach the world with awe and wonder.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Ready
Sean.
within you. Thank you for watching this message today. I'd like to invite you to join us in person here on campus at Unity of Houston for Sunday morning or Wednesday evening services. If you can't be with us here on our campus, you can still join us live on Facebook or on our website, unityhouston.org, Sunday mornings at 11 a.m. Central.